So we have how many devotees in this group?
Total 33, Prabhuji. I think as of now, 26 of them of us joined.
Yes, yes. No issue. I think I would join, double join.
Yeah, I think few of them are joining.
Okay. We'll just start with the invocation.
Sure.
All of you can help me out by switching on your cameras. And this is one of the norms of Bhakti Shastri. So, as a primary teacher, I've been asked, Anand Gopal is a primary teacher for your batch, but there are other batches where I'm a primary teacher. And one of the norm for attendance is the video should be on, so that all of us can be on the same page. Yes, Dasashmu, is it the norm here also?
Yes, very much, Prabhu.
Okay, na?
Yes, very
School
much.
are off. Please don't consider the attendance. And
Yes.
the BBRV and the part of BBRV. Therefore, 1 minute. So I'll just start Kirtan Jai Radha Madhava, and the devotees can slowly start switching off their videos by the end of Radha Madhava. You will be considered present. Otherwise, Prabhuji will be marking you late, and subsequent late will be absent. Okay. Prabhuji, I think someone is in the waiting room. I can admit that. Srinivas Alibu. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Givardhana Gopijana Vallabha Givardhana Yashodanandan Braja Janaranjan Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Radha Vrindavan Ganga, Radha Vrindavan Ganga, Radha Vrindavan Ganga, Shri Ram. Hare Radha Madana Mohan, Radha Radha Madana Mohan. Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshan Gauranita 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 Jaya Gauranita Prabha Prabha Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Prabhupada Shastri Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON founder Acharya Viveki founder Acharya Savior of the whole world Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Prabhupada Shastri His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srinivas Thakurti Prem Se Guru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Brajmovi Vrindavan Dham Ki Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Navdeep Mayapur Dham Ki Ganga Maiya Yamuna Maiya Ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhakti Dasa Raghunath Sargoswami Ki वर्तमान आचार्य वृंद की ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ी गुरु संप्रदाय की गोलोकेर प्रेमनद हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की गुरु गौरांग की Hare Krishna. So it's a pleasure to learn Ishopanishad with all of you. Actually, Bhaktivedanta Maharaj writes in his book, Beggar, or in Ishopanishad itself, he writes, as devotees, we are always in a learning mode. When we hear, 10% we understand. Once we read, we understand 20%. Once we hear, read, and write, we understand 30%. And if you want to really understand subject, then you have to hear, read, write, and you should come to the point of teaching it. So every time I teach this wonderful book, Ishopanishad, it's a new learning. It's not that I'm teaching because I'm qualified to teach it. I teach because I get to learn. Every time when I teach, when I read the same Prabhupada purports, when I read Acharya commentaries, some things which I could not understand the previous time, I get to understand in a new session when I start teaching Ishopanishad. So this is, in this month, this is the third batch of Ishopanishad, which I'm teaching. And This will be a what do you say? A new experience for me to teach all of you. I can say new experience to learn by teaching all of you. So I want to ask some question to you that you have undergone the unit of nectar of instruction and you are about to start Ishopanishad. So if you want, you can unmute and speak, or if you can chat. Chat will be preferred so that it keeps you active. Speaking every time you have to unmute and try to speak. So what are the three types of Vedic literature? Vyasadeva compiled Vedic literatures 5,000 years back, seeing al prayan alpayusha sabdyat kalavasmin yukejana mand sumanda matayo mand bhagya upadrataha 1.1.10. So Vyasadeva compiled the Vedic literature for the Kali Yuga people. Krishna Sudama Pagate Dharma Dhyana Visaha Kalavnashka Dashamesha Puranarko Dunodita. Srimad Bhagavatam appeared like a sun for people of Kali Yuga who are bereft of torchlight of knowledge. So Srimad Bhagavatam is like sun, and it is giving us light by which we can see what is the right path and what is not the right path and walk. So somebody can help me with the answer for what are the three kinds of Vedic literatures as compiled by Vyasadeva. I am audible to all of you. Sound is enough or it is very low?
Good, Prabhu.
Oh,
Very clear, Prabhuji.
and I'm still waiting, looking for the devotees. Yeah, Arvind Prabhu has replied. Himanshu Dikshit Prabhu is very active. And they have written more chat. Okay, I want more answers. Is it the right thing? What all of you feel? Shruti, Smriti, and I'll try to read it out. Okay, Arvind Prabhu has replied. Shruti, Smriti, then Himanshu Dikshit Prabhu has replied to everyone. Smriti, and Vedas. You are 33, you are both of you are 66% right. There is one more part missing. Shruti, Smriti, and one more.
Puranam, Prabhu.
Puranas come under Smriti.
Okay.
Upanishads come under Shruti. When we have an orientation of Bhakti Shastri, we have this in the first session on the orientation, Vedic literature, the hierarchy of Vedic literature. Because unless and otherwise, we are not very clear about what is Vedic literature, what we are trying to study, then it's a foundation, basic foundation. Once you understand this Vedic literature, its hierarchy, then we can easily understand what we are studying, why we are studying Bhakti Shastri. There are many things. Yes, Darsh Agarwal Prabhu, thank you for your answer, direct answer, Upanishad. But Upanishad is a part of Shruti. And devotees, Srinivas Prabhu, Lakshmi Mansa Mataji, Murari Garipalli Prabhu, Buddhe Rajesh Prabhu, Madhvi Reddy Mataji, Surender Prabhu, Sakshi, Sachdev Prabhu, Rama Reddy, Ram Reddy, yes, Chakrapani. All of you can try to switch on your videos. I hope you are not in companies trying to work with your laptops and parallelly you are logged in like the previous batch, 2021 batch. Suddenly the second session, Shravan devotee started, his Zoom got unmuted and his complete meeting started coming out. And our Prabhuji, what is Prabhuji's name? Leelandru started telling him, Prabhuji, mute yourself. If the video is off, at least unmute yourself. Okay, I understand all of you. It's very glorious. It's Leelandru's batch of devotees who are settled in Gachibowli, working in corporates and still taking out time and trying to do Bhakti Shastri. It's really appreciated. But as a teacher, I have a concern that this Bhakti Shastri, anyway, actually it is supposed to be on Monday, it is on Tuesday. So surely I admit that, okay, it's my mistake in the sense that we should have it yesterday only, but I was traveling to Ujjain. I'm in Ujjain right now. Just had Mahakaleshwar Darshan by 6:10. And just reached in time to Ujjain to join in this meeting for all. The whole batch of devotees are there in temple. Just joined in. But anyways, so this class, I understand this is not a regular class, but Friday, I want all of you to be on with your videos. And I'm going to see all the attendance. And if Das Raj Prabhu, Das Prabhu, Das Raj Prabhu, na? Das Raj Prabhu will tell you. If
Yes,
somehow or other those videos are not on, if you mark them present, along with them, you'll also be
I'll be absent. Haribol.
you'll also be asked. Okay? I'll make it sure. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
ज्ञानतिग्रन्थस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सिंहनरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सावधूतं त्रिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशपारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरवस्य हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So, by the blessings of all the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, and all Vaishnavas, it's actually a glorious opportunity to read scriptures, especially scriptures in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Because so many scholars, big Sanskrit Pandits in different sects, I can tell, not in Parampara, in different sects, they read. But what is the difference between we read the Gaudiya Vaishnava literature? It is like the 1.1.3 Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataro galitam phalam shukamukha damrit dravya simitam pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam muhurao rasiko bhuvi bhavukha. So it's like, because acharyas keep on passing it, it's like a mango tree. When mango tree, if you have seen in the villages how they remove mangoes, a person climbs up, he removes the mango, and there is person down with his goni, there is a sackcloth, and they put it like this, and that mango person removes it and then throws it in the sack, and that person, two people are there holding the sack, they take it and put inside the basket, and then they come and put inside the dry grass, and then the mango ripens. So similarly, the Vedic literature is like, mango tree, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a ripened fruit. Different acharyas are handing over to the parampara system. From one acharya hands it over to his disciple, the disciple becomes acharya, hands it over to his disciple. So all their commentaries mixed together, the nectar of Vedic literature gets revealed. So when I ask this question to all of you regarding what are the three types of Vedic literature, three types of Vedic literature are Shruti, second one is Smruti, and third is Nyaya. Shruti, Smruti, Nyaya. So how we define Shruti? Those Vedic literature which has been given by Lord himself, which has been breathed by the Lords. Vedas are breathed by the Lords. So actually, the Vedas were one, because Lord revealed Vedic literature to Lord Brahma, and Brahma passed it on to Narada. Narada passed it to Vasudeva. But Vasudeva, seeing Kali Yuga, made one Vedic literature into four: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, Sama Veda. And these four Vedas are called as Shruti. It is known to be spoken by the Lord. And that is revealed by the Lord is called as Shruti, which is to be heard by Parampara system. And what is Shruti? When the Acharyas are there, they compile scriptures for people in general to understand with time, place, and circumstances for a particular yuga. That compilation by the Acharya is called as Shruti. Shruti. That Vedic literature is revealed and given by the Lord directly is called as Shruti. And according to time, place, circumstances, which is compiled by the Acharyas, is called as Shruti. And Shruti has complex Sanskrit. Therefore, to understand Shruti, one has to learn Sanskrit. The level of Sanskrit is very, very complex. And therefore, Smriti is compiled in a very simple Sanskrit for people in general to understand. And Vedas, he saw that Shruti is not so easy to understand. He himself wrote a commentary called as Vedanta Sutra. That is Nyaya Shastra. Shruti has having complex Sanskrit. To make it understand, you need a corollary. When there is theorem, there is a corollary. So Nyaya is like a corollary for Shruti. But still, the Vedanta Sutra was so complex. Vedas is ripened because Narada Muni, who is a spiritual master of Vedas, he intervened and told that you have given a lot of, in Vedic literature, 4 Vedas, in Puranas, in Shruti and Smriti, you have given so much of, what do you say, bridging topics. Like when we bring people to Krishna consciousness, we conduct program like Art of Parenting, children's program. We want to get parents and we want to do a children program because parents don't come in directly. Then we arrange children program, parents come and drop the children, wait for some time, pick them up, go back, children go back, small kids go back and start studying Sanskrit verses. They start telling Krishna stories and slowly, devotees are so smart. They make one kid as Radharani, another child as Krishna, and they tell the parents, we will only bring the clothes and dress them and make a drama. And the whole family comes, grandmother, grandfather, the whole family package happens. So that is how smart it is. So similarly, Vedas, what it did was Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. People generally take up Dharma. They take shelter of Vedic literature for answering their Artha. They want Artha. They want material money. They want material benefit. Without money, there is no honey. So when there is money, then person can get married. He can get a bungalow. He can have a decent life. So Dharma for Artha. And then Artha one gets, he wants to fulfill the Kama. So in this way, Vedas had made it. He had included everybody. While including everybody, main object Krishna was missing. Then Narad Muni interfered and told, you have done amazing Sanskrit rendition with Chandas and Alankar, but the object, main Vishay Vastu, is not glorified. So you should directly glorify Krishna. Then Vedas wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So Srimad Bhagavatam comes under, in that way it is a commentary for Vedanta Sutra, it is Nyaya. But Srimad Bhagavatam is a ripened fruit of Vedic literature and comes in Puranas, in that way it is Smriti. But actually Srimad Bhagavatam, by Srimad Bhagavatam, is categorized under Nyaya because through Srimad Bhagavatam we can understand Shruti very easily. Hope I have not complicated your understanding now. Again, I'll try to repeat. 3 things: Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. Shruti, very complex Sanskrit, revealed by the Lord in the heart of Brahmaji, passed on to Vedavasa, Ved was saying Kali Yuga compiled 4 Vedic literature. But to understand that 4 Vedas, you need Nyaya. And the application of 4 Vedas is told in Smriti. And what is Nyaya? Srimad Bhagavatam. And to understand Vedic literature directly, Srimad Bhagavatam is a very easy means. So why I'm speaking about Nyaya so much? Because 4 Vedas are divided into 4 parts. Each Veda. One for a brahmachari, one for a grihastha, one for a vanaprastha, one for a sannyasi. All these 4 Vedas are divided into 4 parts. The first one is the Brahmanas. Second one is Samhita. Third one, Aranyaka. Fourth one, Upanishad. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. Each Vedic literature is divided into 4 parts. So one for a brahmachari, it is Brahmanas. Samhitas for Grahasthas. And then Aranyaka. Aranya means what? Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha goes to Aranya. Aranyakas for Vanaprasthas. And the Upanishad, when one does dharma, artha, and kama, and still he is not satisfied, birth after birth, birth after birth, birth after birth, bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyate. One comes to the level of Jnani, understands that there is no happiness in this matter. There is no happiness in this kama, fulfilling the material desire. Then he starts from Karma Kanda section, then he goes to Jnana Kanda section. That is, he wants to renounce. He wants to renounce the fruits of his work, of his labor. That is renunciation. Therefore, for sannyasis, there is Upanishad. So Upanishad starts with renouncing. Therefore, it has complex Sanskrit. And what we are going to study is Sri Ishopanishad is called as Vajasanaya Samhita Upanishad. It comes under Yajurveda. In Yajurveda, there are 40 chapters in the Samhita section, in the last section of Upanishad. In that 40 chapters, 39 chapters speaks on how to do karma. What karmas one should do. And 40th chapter speaks about what should be the consciousness to do the karma. That is jnana. And therefore, Sri Ishopanishad was also called as Vajasanaya Samhita Upanishad. Because Yajurveda has Vajasanaya Samhita before this Upanishad. Therefore, because there is a Samhita, there is Brahmana, Samhita, Aranyaka, and then Upanishad. So earlier chapters has Vajasanaya Samhita. And therefore, that which comes under Vajasanaya Samhita, the 40th chapter is called as Isha Upanishad. So this is written by, I think, Vedanta Desikan's commentary on Mantra 1 regarding this. So it is from there. Okay. So I think this is very clear to all of you now. Vedas has 3 parts. Shruti, Smriti, and Nyaya.
Nyaya.
Okay. And Upanishad is a part of 4 Vedas. And 4 Vedas are Shrutis. And each Veda is divided into 4 parts. Brahmana, Samhita, Aranyaka, Upanishad. Therefore, Upanishad is a part of which one? Shruti, Smriti, or Nyaya?
Shruti.
Shruti. Because Upanishad is a part of 4 Vedas. All 4 Vedas, the 4th part is Upanishad. It is meant for sannyasis, yatis. And therefore, it speaks about winding up the business in the material world and approaching, giving up the results, giving up the fruits. It's like, trying to catch a fish but not get wet. Something like that. People have got the material body, but best use of the bad bargain. Once we have got the material body, now we should use the material body for renouncing the fruits. It's more of a thought process and attitude. Consciousness, I can tell more of, rather than self-help books, attitude, and other things, more of consciousness. Therefore, Prabhupada told International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So with this understanding, if you just read Upanishad, Prabhupada's purports are very amazing. how Ishopanishad book, this book Ishopanishad came into picture. Prabhupada in 1940-41 used to write BTG articles, 44. So seeing the World War I and World War II, he took these principles at the World War II junction that this world is not neither capitalists nor communists. Capitalists are people from US, communists are people from USSR, Russia. And therefore, that time these are the two big giants. And Prabhupada took this principle of Ishopanishad telling that the world belongs to Isha. Lord is the proprietor. Lord is the controller. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatyam Digat Tena Taktena Gunjitam Agrata Kasha Shiddhanam. Isha Avashyam. Lord is residing in this world and it is controlled and owned by him. And therefore, he wrote series of these 18 mantras during World War II in 1944. And this was compiled as BTG articles. Later on, BBT took it and compiled it to the book called as Ishopanishad. Therefore, if you read carefully, it mostly speaks about the war, communist, capitalist, bomb is with both of them. And if they start snarling like cats and dogs, then the whole world will be gone. First mantra is like that only. So, with this in picture, we will come to the introduction part now. Till now, anybody has any questions regarding this? Nothing is there. We will directly go to the introduction. Conway Hall lecture by Prabhupada, the introduction of Ishopanishad. I'll just try to share the screen with you and then we'll start again. So what is Ishopanishad? What Ishopanishad consists of? So this is Sri Ishopanishad at a glance. Before we start, let's see what all things are there in this. So Prabhupada's lecture introduction is not included in this. Prabhupada, the BBT added the introduction lecture on Vedic literature. What I told about Shruti, Smriti, Puran. Prabhupada tells about the same thing in a very, very simple way. 4 defects, 2 types of Aurova, Arova Panta, then Vedic literature like Bhagavatam is the essence. One can understand Upanishad and all the Vedic literature by reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That is introduction. So once that is done, invocation. Section 1, according to MHC, has these 4 parts. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4. Yes. The first part is living in harmony with Lord or laws of God. I'll share this PDF with you. Last school forwarded to all of you in the WhatsApp group. But still, for making notes, it's good. If you see and write, it's fine. So the first part consists of invocation, which is technically not a part of Ishopanishad. In the commentaries of Vedanta Desikan, the commentaries of Madhvacharya, invocation is not there. But in the commentary of Bhakti Thakur has given a commentary for invocation. That means Bhakti Thakur had included invocation. And he has taken invocation from Baldev Vidyabhushan's Vedanta Sutra 1.1.9. Added it. Because before you start any mantra, there is Shanti mantra to be chanted before chanting any Shruti mantra. And this Om Purnamada is called as Shanti mantra or Purna mantra, which is a recitation to be done before any Shruti. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given commentary on it. That means Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he started compiling Ishopanishad, that time he included invocation for as a because it comes in sync with this whole Vedic literature of Ishopanishad. So the first this invocation speaks about Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudichyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Lord is complete. All the complete units which emanate from the Lord, this has phenomenal world, that is also complete. Although all these emanate from the Lord, Lord doesn't shrink, he remains a complete balance. This is essence. Basically, materially there is 10 liters of milk. If you take 5 liters, what remains is 5 liters. But when Lord is expanding himself, Lord is eternal. Like this concept in mechanical engineering called as source and sink. It comes in thermodynamics also. Source is it supplies infinite heat. Sink means it can absorb infinite heat. That's the ideal engine which they make for designing. So similarly, Lord is like source. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindam Sarva Karana Karana. So first verse speaks about that Lord is complete and perfect. And whatever comes out of him is complete and perfect. And if you remove something from Lord, still remains a complete. This world is complete, living entities are complete, and Lord is complete. But how this world is complete? So many people are suffering. So when anytime we want to see a product, we have to see it from the point of view for what is designed. Smartphone is designed for speaking, not for typing. So similar, the world is created for transforming the people, rebellious souls who want to go back to Godhead. From that point of view, it is complete. The law of karma, people are suffering because of their law of karma. But if you want to enjoy, it's not complete. Because like mobile phone is not meant for typing or trying to take photos, high quality photos, but it's meant for speaking. Similarly, if you want high quality photos, there is camera. If you want to type, there is laptop or palm top, something like that. Similarly, this world is created so that living entities can transform their heart and align with the Lord. From that point of view, it is complete. So once that is done, Mantra 1 speaks about Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Punjita Mahagrada Kasha Shuddhanam. So Lord is controlling and owning everything. Like many people say, many of the Western thinkers say that many of the popes and clergies of Christianity, they became atheists. Or Darwin, he lost his daughter, he lost his wife, and he started thinking that initially told that Lord breathed living entity in this world, and then evolution started. But there are so many things. Why do bad things happen with good people? When people start losing things, their faith starts shaking. A concept came off through such Christianity or some Western thinkers that when we manufacture a watch company manufactures a watch. But the manufacturer, the creator of the watch, once the product is sold, he is no more in control of the watch. Because when they are not able to harmonize uncertainty and reversals, they come with the concept that Lord has created, but he's not in control. But Isha Vashyam mantra refutes that. Isha Avashyam, Supreme Lord is a controller, and he is dwelling inside it, he is controlling it, it is allotting a quota according to people's karma, and one should accept only one's quota, knowing well everything belongs to the Lord. Lord is a proprietor, controller, and is sanctioner. Upadashta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhukta, Maheshwaram, Bhagavad Gita, Super Souls. So therefore, this is mantra 1. It completely refutes atheism, or it completely refutes so-called thing like Lord created and is not in control concept, which modern thinkers who are religionists, but they fail to understand the harmony of the Lord, and they are not able to sink into the reversals which come into their life. They are not able to answer it through their understanding. They tell that Lord is not in control. He's created it, but he's not in control. So similarly, somebody accepts the Ishavashan principle, what benefits he gets? Kurvan evahu karmani. He should continue doing his work, and he can live for hundreds of years. Na anyate astosti, na karma lipyate nare. Such a person who follows Ishavashan principle is following a karma principle. He is not bound by karma, and he can stay peacefully in this world, knowing the concepts of karmic karma, how Lord is in control, and after this world, he can go back to Godhead. Okay, Kurvan evahi karmani, and he can live for hundreds of years. And those who don't accept the Ishavashan principle, Asurya namate loka andena tamsavrata, tamse pratyabhigachanti, e acha hatma hana janaha. Such people, they sink to the darkest region of ignorance. into species of demons because they're killing their own soul, and they are asuras. And those people who align, they are divine. Those who don't align, they are demonic. Simple. So this is laws of God living in harmony with God. So we have concluded now invocation, mantra 1, mantra 2, mantra 3. So once we finish this first section, it's very clear a person who goes to Vedic literature for dharma, for earth and kama, is frustrated and is looking for a person who is in control. But for him, the person who is in control should be impersonal. Why? Because person is so much frustrated with form, material form. So he thinks that form means illusion. Form means misery. Like a bull or a cow which has seen fire. Anytime it sees fire, it starts running away. Or there is saying in Hindi, दूध का चला छाछ भी फूक फूक के पीता है. A person who has drank hot milk, when he's given buttermilk in summer season, he thinks it is hot and keeps on blowing it because already he has burnt his tongue. So similarly, person who is into karma kanda section, when it comes to renunciation, dhyana kanda, like Upanishad, his concept of Lord is that Lord should be impersonal, because personalism means maya, personalism means matter, and therefore, how that Lord is pursued by a Mahabhagavat, that is Mahabhagavat's vision. So mantra 4 and 5 speaks about Achintya Shakti and inconceivable. One cannot conceive Lord through one's mind and senses, through speculation. One cannot put him in the equation of integration or differentiation or complex algebra. One cannot write a code to understand Lord. With all the logic, with all the reasoning, with all your calculations, you cannot. 2 finger too short. Lord's belly, 5-year-old Lord, should be around 2 feet, 2.5 feet. But all the ropes of Braja, silken ropes of all the calves of Braja, all the gopis brought all the calves ropes. Still, the whole day went. It became evening. People started bringing lamp to see Damodar. Still, his waist was not bound. 2 finger too short. But when the Leela Shakti was overcome by the Kripa Shakti, then Lord allowed, okay, Yashoda has done so much of endure, bind it. So similarly, to understand Upanishad, to the statement of Upanishad, one cannot approach the Lord. One has to accept the Kripa Shakti of the Lord. But through the Bhagavatam's verses, we can easily understand mantra 4 and mantra 5. So we'll be switching ourselves. To understand mantra 1, we'll go to some Bhagavatam verses. To understand mantra 4 and mantra 5, we'll be going to relevant Bhagavatam verses and coming back to Prabhupada's purpose, going to Bhagavatam verses. So Shruti, Upanishad is Shruti, and Bhagavatam is Nyaya. So the logic by which we can understand Shruti. And the Shruti, the logic of Bhagavatam is not logic, mundane logic. It is the logic coming by the Acharyas, their commentaries. So Lord will not reveal himself, but the Acharyas, by their mercy, like Lord allowed himself by Kripa Shakti to be bound by Mother Yashoda. Similarly, because Mother Yashoda was devotee, Lord allowed himself to be bound by him. Otherwise, Gyanis cannot touch even the spark emanating from his lotus toenail. Because Mother Yashoda was a devotee. She could bind Krishna. Similarly, Acharyas, they are pure devotees. They can sink, they can cut these Upanishadic statements and reveal us what it means. Okay. So mantra 4 and mantra 5, Achintya. Lord is Achintya and Akarka. You'll be seeing it when it comes. And mantra 6 and mantra 7 speaks about Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atman Nevanu Pashyati Tatra Kamoha Shoka Ekatvam Anupashyatah. Atman Nevanu Pashyatah and Ekatvam Anupashyatah. These 2 principles we are going to study in mantra 6 and mantra 7. What is the vision? What is the equal vision? Pandita Samadarshana, same thing, something like that. But this equality of vision is, we'll be seeing in the particular subsequent verses when we start reading. But I'm just telling the overview of what we're going to discuss. So the vision of Bhagavatam is that Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmani Kavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Subhakecha Pandita Samadarshana. That is a pure devotee with his vision. He's able to see Lord in everything and everything in Lord. Lord in everything means Lord is in control. And everything in Lord means Lord is a support. This is what Madhvacharya writes in the commentary of this 6th and 7th. Lord in everything means Lord is controlling everything. And everything in Lord means Lord is a support for whole material and spiritual universes. He's a support. And once that is done, mantra 4, 5, 6, 7 is done. Then in mantra 8, we are going to see pure devotee, because those who come from the Karma Kanda section to Dhyana Kanda section, their concept of Lord is impersonal. Directly, this Mahabhagavat reveals the qualities of the Lord. Shukram, Apapavidyam, Asnaviryam, Yata Tata, Artan, Shashvatibhya, Samadhya. These are the different qualities in mantra 8. This is revealed by the Mahabhagavat. That means Lord has form, he has a spiritual form, and his spiritual qualities. So this is Mahabhagavat's vision. First section, there is a supreme controller, creator, and controller. And that supreme creator and controller is not impersonal, he is having a form as pursued by Mahabhagavad. That is section 2. And his vision, he sees everything equally. And his qualities of Lord which is pursued by him, but we can't perceive it. But by the help of Acharyas, we can understand the commentary of this mantra 1, mantra 4 to mantra 8. Once that is done, what is the process of knowing Lord? We do education, na? Vidya. Basically, all of us heard lectures, then we started chanting, then we started worshipping. So worship comes last. First comes Jnana and then Vijnana. So Jnana is what? There is a Jnana comes with Vidya, Avidya. The comparison of knowledge, section 3. So mantra 9, mantra 10, mantra 11. Avidya leads to darkness, and misguided Vidya leads to greater darkness. What is Avidya? Materialistic knowledge. And scientific advancement, materialistic knowledge. Our Vedic knowledge which sends us to heavenly planets. What is misguided Vidya? We go to Vedic literature and we pushpitam vacham. We want to go to heaven. We want to go to Vedic literature. We want impersonal, Mayavadic liberation. That is even more dangerous. People are reading Vedic literature. They are becoming spiritual. But there are worse than people who are not spiritual. That is a statement. Elaborately, we will discuss on this. Every 1 hour, I am going to total. This is a 24-hour session. And for each mantra, we are having 1 hour to 1.5 hours. But I'm just giving overview. So mantra 10, by avidya, you achieve one result. By vidya, you achieve different result. What is avidya here? Materialistic knowledge and Vedic misguided knowledge. That by that one gets entangled in the material world. And what is vidya? Pure devotional service bhakti. By that one can go back to God. So mantra 10, the definition of avidya and vidya change. There is little twist in this section 3 and section 4. And avidyamcha vidyamcha yastadved ubhayam saha avidyamcha mrityum tirtva vidyamstam amrutam ashrute. That is mantra 11. Avidya will help you to transcend death, and vidya will help you to go back to Godhead. In mantra 11, the vidya and avidya are changed. Avidya is a knowledge one requires for navigating this material world. There is a knowledge of varnashram, knowledge of one's psychophysical nature, knowledge of how to harmonize one's money, economy, relationship, status in society. And vidya means knowledge of bhakti. If you want to become a devotee, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, balance of vidya and avidya. So, mantra 11, what avidya is being spoken, this is a counseling part which most of the congregation counselors do with their counselees. The counseling part is nothing to do with spirituality. But that is not done, the spirituality gets hampered. The material counseling is for, it's a material thing only, but that supports practice of bhakti, that supports chanting Hare Krishna, that supports deity worship. So that is avidya part, the varnashram part, the psychophysical part of how husband and wife should stay together, how they should come together, how they should live together, how they should live in a society, what kind of different rituals they should do, but aligning with Krishna consciousness. That is Vidya. So balance of Vidya and Avidya. This is these three verses speak about Vidya and Avidya in a different way. So there is a little twist in this. Okay. We'll go to the next section. Section 4 again. Comparison of worship. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha. Yastad vedovayam saha. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha mrityam tirtva. Sambhutim cha amritam ashmute. Same like avidya and vidya. Here's asambhuti and sambhuti. So mantra 12 speaks about asambhuti, that is demigod worship. Sambhuti, impersonal worship. Mantra 13, sambhuti is Krishna, personal worship which takes us back to Godhead, and asambhuti is demigod worship and impersonal worship. That is Mayavadi worship. That takes us to this material world only. Sambhuti, asambhuti. Comparison of sambhuti and asambhuti. And knowing sambhuti and knowing vinasha, the temporary nature of this material world, and knowing the permanent nature of the spiritual world, mantra 14, one can transcend death and one can become immortal. So one should balance both. Anartha nivritti and artha pravritti. Okay. So once you get knowledge, then you start worshipping. So this is comparison of sambhuti and asambhuti. I'm just giving an overview so that you understand Upanishad. If you just understand this word, it becomes very difficult to understand. But when you go through the word Prabhupada purports and then go through Prabhupada purports are more than enough for the section of section 3 and section 4. That will help us. And yeah, some comment to the Baldev Vidyabhushan and Madhvacharya and Vedanta Desikan will help us a lot. And last, but not the least, Lord is supreme controller and creator. He has all the wonderful qualities as pursued by Mahabhagavat, the knowledge to know him and the worship. Once it is done, the perfection of that is Sharanagati, prayers. Mantra 50 and Mantra 16 speaks of Hiranyamaya Patrena Satyasya Pritam Mukam. It speaks about it. And Mantra 16 also speaks about that only, to remove the golden effulgence. Oh Lord, kindly remove your effulgence and show your beautiful form. You have a dazzling form, you have attractive form. And then Mantra 17 speaks about whatever services I have done, please remember that. Please remember my sacrifices and services which I have done for Krishna conscious practice. And please, remembering that, I may not remember you, but please, by your remembering, I can come back home back to Godhead. And while executing, knowingly, unknowingly, I might have committed some sins. Kindly purify all the sins and take me back home back to Godhead. It ends with this Sharanagati. For a person who has come from Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, especially the sannyasi who has to renounce his fruits of action, he comes to a mentality of giving up the fruits of this material world. Slowly comes from the impersonal background. It builds up, and concludes with Isha, the supreme controller. He has a personal form, and we will take full surrender and Sharanagati and take up Krishna consciousness. So this is how Ishopanishad concludes with. Hare Krishna. So this is the overview of Ishopanishad which we are going to see. And we are going to detail for each mantra 90 minutes. And we have 45 minutes now. And we will try to quickly skim through introduction of Ishopanishad. And then we will end.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one question.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Sambhuti, Asambhuti, can you explain more once again?
1 minute, Prabhuji, I am not able to hear you.
Sambhuti and Asambhuti. Sambhuti leads to darkness and Asambhuti leads to greater darkness, you said. So, how can-
Sambhuti. You are able to hear me now?
yes, I can hear.
So, Sambhuti in mantra 9, 10, 11, 12, it refers to demigod worship. Asambhuti and Sambhuti. I'll come to the mantra. Andam tama pravishanti ye sambhuti mupasate tato bhuya iva te tamo ye u sambhutyam rataha. Yes, Sambhuti refers to demigod worship, and so-called Sambhuti refers to Mayavadi understanding of Supreme Lord. There are two understanding of impersonalism: impersonalistic and Mayavadis, Brahmavadis and Mayavadis. So what is being referred to here is Mayavadi. Because there are many Brahmavadis who became devotees like Kumaras, Sukhdeva Goswami. They are not offenders to Lord, but the offenders of Lord who misguided knowledge, misguided, they understand Lord in their own terms. They degenerate Lord Vishnu as incarnation of mode of goodness of that Brahman. Jivatmas, living entities, humans as incarnation of passion, and animals as incarnation of ignorance. So that is a Mayavadi concept, which is not spoken anywhere. So that misinterpretation of Vedic literature about the Supreme, that leads to one more greater darkness than demigod worship, because demigod worshipper slowly will come from karma kanda, come to jnana kanda, he may become a devotee over a period of time. But the impersonal Mayavadi understanding of this Vedic literature will lead to hell. They are offenders of Lord. Mayavadi Bhasya Sunni Hoile Sarvanas. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told. But Brahmavadis, they may pick up Krishna consciousness, and there are many examples. So Sambhuti refers to demigod worship, and so-called Sambhuti refers to Mayavadi understanding of impersonalism. That leads to greater darkness. Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very good. We'll go to the introduction now. So now we have set the foundation. So now we'll go to introduction of Ishopanishad. This is there in your book, but what I have done is I have just given headings to make it little more relevant to all of us. Yes, you can start reading, one of you, one by one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Number one, what are Vedas? Ladies and gentlemen, today's subject matter is teaching of the Vedas. There are
Yes, Prabhu. Read your book. See it?
the Vedas. Oh, yeah, now I can see. What are the Vedas? The Sanskrit verbal root of the Veda can be interpreted variously, but the purport is finally one. Veda means knowledge. Any knowledge you accept is Veda. For the teachings of the Veda are the original knowledge. In the conditioned state, our knowledge is subject to many deficiencies. Hare Krishna.
Can I go with second one, Prabhuji?
I'm just going to explain on it.
Hare
When
Krishna.
Prabhupada is trying to speak about Vedas, Veda means knowledge. He is present to the Western audience, and he has to appeal to them that the knowledge which is there, they have learned materialistic knowledge, scientific knowledge, everything has source in Vedas. So that explanation of Vedas is like a liberal explanation of the Vedic literature. Because I asked question to all of you, what is Vedic literature? What are the three types of Vedic literature? Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. That all the knowledge of this world is Veda. That is the liberal approach of Vedas. The the average or median approach of the Vedas is Vedic literature,
Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya is Veda. The restricted approach of Vedas is 4 Vedas: Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva. This is only Vedas. It's like a triangle. Peak of triangle is only 4 Vedas. The middle is only the Vedic literature, Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. And the broader concept is the base. All the knowledge of this world is Veda. So Prabhupada is using the broader explanation of the Vedic literature. All the knowledge of this world, which is coming from everything is coming from the Lord. That is Veda. Okay. We'll go to next step. So Prabhupada speaks about, Prabhupada is addressing now, ladies and gentlemen, everything, all the knowledge of this world is Veda. Why we need Veda? Because we have 4 defects. What are the 4 defects? And Prabhupada speaks about that. And because we have 4 defects, therefore, the knowledge coming from our mundane mind and speculation is imperfect. And therefore, for complete knowledge, we have to accept Vedic literature. Yes, Prabhu. Dasraj Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. 4 defects of conditioned soul. The difference between a conditioned soul and a liberated soul is that the conditioned soul has 4 kinds of defects. The first defect is that he must commit mistakes. For example, in our country, Mahatma Gandhi was considered to be a very great personality, but he committed many mistakes. Even at the last stage of his life, his assistant warned Mahatma Gandhi, don't go to New Delhi meeting. I have some friends and I have heard there is a danger, but he did not hear. He persisted in going and was killed. Even great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, President Kennedy, there are so many of them make mistakes. So air is human. This is one defect of the conditioned soul. Another defect, to be illusion. Illusion means to accept something which is not. Maya means what is not. Everyone is accepting the body as the self. If I ask you what you are, you will say, I am Mr. John. I am a rich man. I am this, I am that. All these are bodily identifications. But you are not this body. This is illusion. The third defect is cheating propensity. Everyone has the propensity to cheat others. Although a person is fool number 1, he poses himself as very intelligent. Although it is already pointed out that he's in illusion and makes mistakes, he will theorize. I think this is this, but he does not even know his own position. He writes books of philosophy, although he's a defective. This is his disease, that is cheating. Lastly, our senses are imperfect. We are very proud of our eyes. Often someone will challenge, can you show me God? But do you have the eyes to see God? You will never see if you haven't the eyes. If immediately the room becomes dark, you cannot even see your hands. So what power do you have to see? We cannot therefore expect knowledge, Veda, with these imperfect senses. With all these deficiencies in conditioned life, we cannot give perfect knowledge to anyone, nor are we ourselves perfect. Therefore, we accept the Vedas as they are. Hare Krishna.
Because Veda, Prabhupada starts with the Veda, and then he speaks about, because we have 4 defects, therefore, we can't get complete knowledge with our own mental speculation or our own endeavor. Therefore, ascending process. We have to accept the descending process because we have 4 defects. And Vedas are apaurushya. They don't need any proof. So one may ask a question, so what is the proof for Vedas? So there are many axioms, root of -1, and Eigenberg's uncertainty principle. These are all assumptions. Or when you go for a designing side, there is CFD, computational fluid dynamics. You want to run some softwares for testing a plane or a car, the surface structure. People use this ideal flow from fluid mechanics, but flow is never ideal. For making it real, they assume. So many assumptions done, even in corporate world, even in designing world, even in research and development laboratories. So similarly, they assume many of the things and make it as axiom. What is the definition of axiom? Axiom means self-evident truth which does not require any proof. But it works. Root of -1 put in calculator, it shows calci, it shows syntax error. But root of -1 is the core principle for CFD, computational fluid dynamics, through which so many of the airplane structures are designed, car structures are designed, all the structures which are tested, temperature, everything is done to CFD. So what I'm trying to tell is, similarly, Vedas, if you want to go, the modern science itself has so many axioms which works. So similarly, Vedas which are coming from the higher level has many axioms which works, but we don't have proof. That doesn't mean we have to reject Vedas. We don't reject so many of the axioms which are working wonderfully. We take it, but we put it in the quote unquote under assumptions. When it comes to Vedic literature, we ask challenge, put a question, what is this proof? What is that proof? Some or other they want to find a loophole and want to not accept Lord. This is their diseased envy. But Prabhupada says, no, Vedas are axioms. He speaks about Varnashram. Varnashram will be relevant. And in olden India, Vedic India, people, whenever there is to be challenged, whenever there is to have a debate, they will ask question, Veda Vakya Ma in South. They will ask, Veda Vakya Ma, is it a Veda Vakya that has to accept this thing? So Prabhupada speaks about that concept in this paragraph. And comes to the point that Veda means it should be right. Whether it has proof, whether it doesn't have proof. But still, Jagdish Chandra Bose has found that when you touch cow dung has antiseptic things. There was some part of the Vedas can be proved. Some part of the Vedas cannot be proved. Like some part of the science is proved. Some part of the science like root of -1, uncertainty principle, assumptions are not proved, but still they are accepted. So similarly, Vedas has to be accepted because we have 4 defects. Yes, Prabhu. Next devotee can read the whole paragraph.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. So Vedas are axiomatic truth which don't require any proof. You may call the Vedas Hindu, but Hindu is a foreign name. We are not Hindus. Our real identification is Varnashrama. Varnashrama denotes the followers of the Vedas, those who accept the human society in 8 divisions of Varna and Ashram. There are 4 divisions of society and 4 divisions of spiritual life. This is called Varnashrama. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, sloka 13. These divisions are everywhere because they are created by God. The divisions of society are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Brahmana refers to the very intelligent class of men, those who know what is Brahman. Similarly, the Kshatriyas, the administrative group, are the next intelligent class of men. Then the Vaishyas, the mercantile group. These natural classifications are found everywhere. This is the Vedic principle and we accept it. Vedic principles are accepted as axiomatic truth, for there cannot be any mistake. This is acceptance. For instance, in India, cow dung is accepted as pure, and yet cow dung is the stool of an animal. In one place, you will find the Vedic injunction that if you touch stool, you have to take bath immediately. But in another place, it is said that the stool of a cow is pure. If you smear cow dung in an impure place, that place becomes pure. With our ordinary sense, we can argue this is contradictory. Actually, it is contradictory from the ordinary point of view, but it is not false. It is fact. In Calcutta, a very prominent scientist and doctor analyzed cow dung and found that it contains all antiseptic properties. In India, if one person tells another, you must do this, the other party may say, what do you mean? Is this a Vedic injunction that I have to follow you without any argument? Vedic injunctions cannot be interpreted, but ultimately, if you carefully study why these injunctions are there, you will find that they are all correct. The Vedas are not compilations of human knowledge. Vedic knowledge comes from the spiritual world from Lord Sri Krishna. Another name for the Vedas is Shruti. Shruti refers to that knowledge which is acquired by hearing. It is not experimental knowledge. Shruti is considered to be like a mother. We take so much knowledge from our mother. For example, if you want to know who your father is, who can answer you? Your mother. If the mother says, here is your father, you have to accept it. It is not possible to experiment to find out whether he is your father. Similarly, if you want to know something beyond your experience, beyond your experimental knowledge, beyond the activities of the senses, then you have to accept the Vedas. There is no question of experimenting. It has already been experimented. It is already settled. The version of the mother, for instance, has to be accepted as a truth. There is no other way. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So same thing what I explained, the Vedas are like Shruti, like mother, and Smriti are like sister. And Nyaya also, whatever Vedas speak, four Vedas speak, that is supported by the Puranas and then the Nyaya. We'll come to that table little later. But this is what I'm telling. Is it a Veda Vakyama? Is it a Vedic injunction that I have to follow you without argument? So that is what being spoken here. So it's an axiom. Although we may not be able to prove Vedas, but Vedas are ultimately, by following it, we get benefited. We become perfected. From the point of view of reforming our heart and coming closer to the Lord. But most of the people want to go to Vedic literature to do some research. No, people want to approach Vedic literature. They get some, a formula for something. They want to find out some antibiotic for killing some deadly disease or something like that. People want to go in some other way. But actually, the purpose of Vedas is to take us back home, back to Godhead. So, Prabhupada again speaks ahead that one should accept Vedas without any argument. There is no question of experimenting. It's axiom. But still, there are three kinds of evidences. We gain knowledge through three ways: Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. And Prabhupada speaks about Vedas as Shabda Praman. So Prabhupada speaks that in Shabda Praman, there is no question of experimenting. Like mother tells he is your father, then you just accept it. Similarly, Prabhupada brings this concept of Shabda Praman in the next paragraph. Is some other devotee can read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharma
Yes,
Pranam.
Yes.
The three kinds of evidence. The Vedas are considered to be the mother, and Brahma is called the grandfather, the forefather, because he was the first to be instructed in the Vedic knowledge. In the beginning, the first living creature was Brahma. He received this Vedic knowledge and imparted it to Narad and other disciples and sons, and they also distributed it to their disciples. In this way, the Vedic knowledge comes down by disciplic succession. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that Vedic knowledge is understood in this way. If you make experimental endeavor, you come to the same conclusion, but just to save time, you should accept. If you want to know who your father is, and if you accept your mother as the authority, then whatever she says can be accepted without argument. There are three kinds of evidence: Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda. Pratyaksh means direct evidence. Direct evidence is not very good because our senses are not perfect. We are seeing the sun daily and it appears to us just like a small disk, but it is actually far, far larger than many planets. Of what value is this seeing? Therefore, we have to read books. Then we can understand about the sun. So direct experience is not perfect. Then there is Anuman, inductive knowledge. It may be like this, hypothesis. For instance, Darwin's theory says it may be like this, it may be like that, but this is not science. This is a suggestion and it is also not perfect. But if you receive the knowledge from the authoritative sources, that is perfect. If you receive a program guide from the radio station authorities, you accept it. You don't deny it. You don't have to make an experiment because it is received from the authoritative sources. Vedic knowledge is called Shabda Praman. Another name is Shruti. Shruti means that this knowledge has to be received simply by oral reception. The Vedas instruct that in order to understand transcendental knowledge, we have to hear from the authority. Transcendental knowledge is knowledge from beyond this universe. Within this universe is material knowledge, and beyond this universe is transcendental knowledge. We cannot even go to the end of this universe. So how can we go to the spiritual world? Thus, to acquire full knowledge is impossible. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Here is, he makes a point that, okay, materially you may be able to do something, but at the end you have to die. And you want to become immortal, you have to gain knowledge of the Vaikuntha Loka. But the knowledge of Vaikuntha Loka is transcendental. So you can't get it from materialistic knowledge, from Pratyaksha and Anuman. You can only get it from the Shabda Praman. And therefore, that is the knowledge beyond the universe. So therefore, out of these three, Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda, Sumedasa. Krishna Varnam Dasha Krishnam Sanga Pangasta Parshadam Yadne Sankirtana Prayajanti Sumedasa. Who are Sumeda? Pratyaksha Hanuman Shabda. People who are intelligent in Kali Yuga, they will opt Shabda Praman. That is the intelligent person. So that is what Prabhupada speaks in the next paragraph. Yes, some other devotee can try to read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Fifth one, the intelligent of Shabda Praman. There is a spiritual sky, there is another nature.
Krishna,
Okay, some
Hare
power cut
Hare.
issue.
Others are able to hear?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think some power cut issue was there, Prabhuji. So someone
Okay,
else
okay.
can give.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna
yes.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, one by
There-
one you can read. Okay. Mataji, you just told. Now we can start reading this paragraph.
There is a spiritual sky. There is another nature which is beyond manifestation and non-manifestation. But how will you know that there is a sky where the planets and inhabitants are external? All this knowledge is there, but how will you make experiments? It is not possible. Therefore, you have to take the assistance of the Vedas. This is called Vedic knowledge. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we are accepting knowledge from the highest authority Krishna. Krishna is accepted as the highest authority by all classes of men. I am speaking first of the two classes of transcendentalists. One class of transcendentalists is called impersonalistic Mayavadi. They are generally known as Vedantis, led by Shankaracharya. And there is another class of transcendentalists called Vaishnavas, like Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, Vishnu Swami. Both the Shankara Sampradaya and the Vaishnava Sampradaya have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shankaracharya is supposed to be an impersonalist who preached impersonalism, impersonal Brahman, but it is a fact that he is a covered personalist. In his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, he wrote, Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond this cosmic manifestation. And then again he confirmed that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, is Krishna. He has come as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. He particularly mentioned the names of his father and mother. So Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by all transcendentalists. There is no doubt about it. Our Supreme Personality of Godhead by all transcendentalists, there is no doubt about it. Sorry. Our source of knowledge in Krishna consciousness is the Bhagavad Gita, which comes directly from Krishna. We have published Bhagavad Gita as it is because we accept Krishna as he is speaking without any interpretation. This is Vedic knowledge. Since the Vedic knowledge is pure, we accept it. Whatever Krishna says, we accept. That is Krishna consciousness. That saves much time. If you accept the right authority or source of knowledge, then you have much time.
Sort of Shabda, Pratyaksha and Anuman, those who save time, they accept Shabda Praman. Prabhupada is telling here the source of our knowledge, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna, and we accept it. We don't do Anuman, we don't go Pratyaksha, and even the impersonalist Shankaracharya, they have concluded Krishna is supreme. Even Vaishnavas, they have concluded Krishna is supreme. Therefore, intelligent opt Shabda Praman. The next section is, okay, once Shabda Praman is confirmed, how to accept Shabda Praman? What is the means to approach Vedic literature? Guru. There is Avroha Panta and there is Aroha Panta. Ascending process, descending process. Our Pratyaksha Anuman comes under ascending and Shabda comes under descending. And the descending process, the Vedic knowledge has to be gained from a Guru. And the qualification of Guru is Brahmanishtam and Upasamashayam. He should be Brahmanishtam. He should be fixed in Brahman and he should be able to apply it and teach others how to apply it. That is what Prabhupada speaks in the next paragraph. Yes. I think devotees are eager to read, so those who want to.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
2 systems of knowledge and 2 qualifications of bona fide guru. For example, there are 2 systems of knowledge in the material world, inductive and deductive. For deductive, you accept that man is mortal. Your father says man is mortal. Your sister says man is mortal. Everyone says man is mortal. But you do not experiment. You accept it as a fact that man is mortal. If you want to research to find out whether man is mortal, you have to study each and every man. And you may come to think that there may be some man who is not dying, but you have not seen him yet. So in this way, your research will never be finished. In Sanskrit, this process is called Aroha, the ascending process. If you want to attain knowledge by any personal endeavor, by exercising your imperfect senses, you will never come to the right conclusions. That is not possible. This is the statement in the Brahma Samhita. Just ride on the airplane which runs at the speed of mind. Our material airplanes can run 2000 miles per hour. But which is the speed of mind? You are sitting at home, you immediately think of India, say 10,000 miles away, and at once it is in your home. Your mind has gone there. The mind speed is so swift. Therefore, it is stated, if you travel at the speed for millions of years, you will find that the spiritual sky is unlimited. It is not possible even to approach it. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is that one must approach the word compulsory is used. A bona fide spiritual master, a guru, and which is the qualification? And what is the qualification of a spiritual master? He is one who has rightly heard the Vedic message from the right source, and he must practically be firmly established in Brahman. These are the 2 qualities he must have. Otherwise, he is not a bona fide. Hare Krishna.
Tasmad Guru Prapadyante Jidnyasu Shreya Uttamam. Compulsory. That is the translation of that shloka. And the qualification Brahmanishtam. Stotriyam. Stotriyam means he should heard from the Vedic literature, from right source. Shruti. From Parampara. Stotriyam. That is a verse, Sanskrit verse for it. And Brahmanishtam. He should be realized. The Vedic literature. He should realize Brahmanishtam. He should be fixed in Brahman. That is his practice of Krishna consciousness. These are 2 qualifications. And next, so once you understand, once you have got Shabda Praman, once you have got a right spiritual master, so what is the aim of Vedic literature? The aim of Vedic literature is to understand Krishna. And although his form is inconceivable, Atarka, like from Ishopanishad mantra 4-5, Atarka Achintya. But still, Lord, he sends devotees in Parampara system, Acharyas, and by their mercy, he makes his devotees easily accessible to him. And through his pure devotees, he allows people in general to understand him and take up the practice of Krishna consciousness. Lord allows himself to be known by his devotees. That is mercy. The Kripa Shakti overpowers his Lila Shakti, and therefore devotees can understand him by his causeless mercy. Yes, the next section. Next devotee can read quickly.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The Krishna consciousness movement is completely authorized from Vedic principles. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the actual aim of Vedic research is to find out Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita, it is also stated, Krishna, Govinda, has innumerable forms, but they are all one. They are not like our forms, which are fallible. His form is infallible. My form has a beginning, but his form has no beginning. It is Ananta. And his form, so many multi-forms, has no end. My form is sitting here, not in my apartment. You are sitting there and not in your apartment, but Krishna can be everywhere. Okay, sorry, yeah. But Krishna can be everywhere at one time. He can sit down in Goloka Vrindavana, and at the same time, he is everywhere, all pervading. He is original, the oldest. But whenever you look at a picture of Krishna, you will find a young boy, 15 or 20 years old. You will never find an old man. You have seen pictures of Krishna as a charioteer from the Bhagavad Gita. At the time, he was not less than 100 years old. He had a great grandchildren, but he looked just like a boy. Krishna, God, never becomes old. That is his supreme power. And if you want to search out Krishna by studying the Vedic literature, then you will be baffled. Yeah, it may be possible, but it is very difficult. But you can very easily learn about him from his devotee. His devotee can deliver him to you. Here he is, take him. That is the potency of Krishna's devotees. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
So the statement Prabhupada is writing here, and if you want to search out Krishna by reading Ishopanishad, very difficult. But same purpose Prabhupada written in Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada is mentioning how to approach Ishopanishad. And Prabhupada actually is telling about himself only, because Prabhupada is a pure devotee. On our own, we cannot understand Krishna by reading scriptures, whole Vedic literature, but Prabhupada has written purport for Bhagavad Gita, for Upanishad, Ishopanishad, for whole Srimad Bhagavatam in such a way, anybody who reads first page understands Krishna's Supreme Person Godhead, one should become his devotee, and one should make the aim of his life to go back to Godhead. Prabhupada is writing about himself here. But you can very easily learn about him from his devotees. His devotee can deliver him to you. Here he is, take him. That is the potential of Krishna's devotee. So Prabhupada was once in Madras. It was in 1973, 74, somewhere like that. And there he was in one of the governor's house, and governor had hosted Prabhupada, Malti Mataji, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, and her daughter Saraswati. And Prabhupada had a small deity of Krishna. And he passed it, he was playing with Saraswati, and he put that deity of Krishna behind. And some devotees were passing it from one hand to another hand, and one hand to another, and it came to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada took it and kept it behind his back. And then devotees started asking, where is Krishna? And Saraswati, she was a small girl, she could identify, like we have musical chair. So Krishna went from one hand to another hand, and she was quite brilliant itself. And at the age of 4 or 5 years, she could understand. Prabhupada has Krishna. And Prabhupada brought his palm front and opened the hand, and he showed Krishna's small deity there. And then Prabhupada made a point that so therefore Prabhupada is writing about himself here. What is he writing? Also devotees are there. Also we approach Vedic literature. It's not very easy to understand Krishna. But Prabhupada, through his purports, has made in his Krishna consciousness movement Krishna very easily accessible, acceptable, and he has made a concept of Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojan, by which we can chant Hare Krishna, purify our heart, read Vedic literature, chant more, understand more, read more, teach more, chant more, understand more, read more, teach more. This goes on till the time we come from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Anatranakti, Bhajana Kriya, Nishta, then Asakti, then Bhava, then Prema, till that point. Therefore, this is the same simple formula. You have to keep on doing this Naveda Bhakti again and again, again and again, again and again. One should not be selfish thinking that I have got Krishna, let me keep it to myself. No, you should share it to others. Sharing can be to new people by bringing them to Krishna consciousness, or some people can share Krishna consciousness by reading scriptures, understanding it, and trying to and make other devotees understand it in such a way that the legacy of Prabhupada's purports goes in devotees' life. So Prabhupada made a statement, book distributions will keep my devotees happy, but reading my books will keep them. We may get a lot of scores and we may get a lot of medals. We may get a lot of encouragement from our superiors. But by reading Prabhupada's books, whatever may happen in our life, we will continue Krishna consciousness. So this is a very, very important statement. I just wanted to highlight it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, your voice is not audible.
So the next section is how Vedas was one, but Vyasadeva, saying the people of Kali Yuga, compiled the whole Vedic literature into 4 parts, Shruti, Smruti, Puran. That is what Prabhupada is going to speak about. So next devotee can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mataji, you carry on, Mataji. Maybe I can't see the screen properly.
There are 2 paragraphs. Both of you can read subsequently, 8 and 9.
So should I start with the 8th one from the beginning? I don't see Prabhuji. Yes. Hare Krishna. So Vyasadeva put the Vedas in writing, foreseeing the condition of people of Kali Yuga. Originally, there was only one Veda, and there was no necessity of reading it. People were so intelligent and had such sharp memories that by once hearing from the lips of the spiritual master, they would understand. They would immediately grasp the whole purport. But 5,000 years ago, Vyasadeva put the Vedas in writing for the people in this age, Kali Yuga. He knew that eventually the people would be short-lived, their memories would be very poor, and their intelligence would not be very sharp. Therefore, let me teach this Vedic knowledge in writing. He divided the Vedas into 4, Rig, Sama, Atharva, and Yajur. Then he gave the charge of these Vedas to his different disciples. He then thought of the less intelligent class of the men, Stri, Shudra, and Dvija Bandhu. He considered the woman class and Shudra class, worker class, and Dvija Bandhu. Dvija Bandhu refers to those who are born in a high family but who are not properly qualified. A man who is born in the family of a Brahmana but is not qualified as a Brahmana is called Dvija Bandhu. For these people, he compiled the Mahabharata, called the History of India, and the 18 Puranas. They are all part of Vedic literature. The Puranas, the Mahabharata, the 4 Vedas, and the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the part of the Vedas. Then Vyasadeva summarized all Vedic knowledge for scholars and philosophers in what is called the Vedanta Sutra. This is the last word of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Raised hand. If it is
Sorry, by mistake,
yeah, no issue. Yes, Mataji, you can read the next section. So this is very clear about this one Veda, how it was joined to 4 Vedas, and then Shruti, Smruti, Nyaya. Shruti for the intelligent, scholarly people who know complex Sanskrit, Smruti, Puran, and other people for the Dvija Bandhus, and then Nyaya for supplement for understanding Shruti. So Upanishads are the part of Vedas. That is what Prabhupada is writing here. And he wrote Vedanta Sutra as a summary. Next section, 9th. Next devotee can.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. 9th one. Summary of Vedic knowledge is the Vedanta Sutra, and its ultimate objective, Lord Krishna, can be understood by reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Vyasadeva personally wrote the Vedanta Sutra under the instructions of Narada, his Guru Maharaja, spiritual master, but still he was not satisfied. That is a long story described in Thank you, Prabhuji. That is a long story described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedavyasa was not very satisfied even after compiling many Puranas and Upanishads, and even after writing the Vedanta Sutra. Then his spiritual master Narada instructed him, "You explain the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta means ultimate knowledge, and the ultimate knowledge is Krishna. Krishna says that throughout all the Vedas, one has to understand him.
Vedaischa sarver ahameva vedya. Krishna also says, Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. I am the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra and I am the knower of the Vedas. Therefore, the ultimate objective is Krishna. That is explained in all the Vaishnava commentaries on Vedanta philosophy. We Gaudiya Vaishnavas have our commentary on Vedanta philosophy called Govinda Bhashya by Baladeva Vidyabhushana. Similarly, Ramanujacharya has a commentary and Madhvacharya has one. The version of Shankaracharya is not the only commentary. There are many Vedanta commentaries, but because the Vaishnavas did not present the first Vedanta commentary, people are under the wrong impression that Shankaracharya is the only Vedanta commentary. Besides that, Vyasadeva himself wrote the perfect Vedanta commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the first words of Vedanta Sutra. Janmadasya Yataha. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. And that Janmadhyasya Yataha is fully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vedanta Sutra simply hints at what is Brahman, the absolute truth. The absolute truth is that from whom everything emanates. This is a summary, but it is explained in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. If everything is emanating from the absolute truth, then what is the nature of the absolute truth? That is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth must be consciousness. He is self-effulgent, Swarat. We develop our consciousness and knowledge by receiving knowledge from others. But for him, it is said that he is self-effulgent. The whole summary of Vedic knowledge is the Vedanta Sutra. And the Vedanta Sutra is explained by the writer himself in Srimad Bhagavatam. We finally request those who are actually after Vedic knowledge to try to understand the explanation of all Vedic knowledge from Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
So this is what this is the statement which I have highlighted in blue. This is one of the inspiration for me to read Ishopanishad, Prabhupada's last line. So those who request, all those who actually are after Vedic knowledge, Shruti, Ishopanishad, which is studying as a part of Shruti. But if you want to know this Vedic knowledge, Prabhupada is writing, try to understand this from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So that is the mood, that is a mode, or that is a mood we are going to approach to decode Upanishad. Although Prabhupada has given his purports very nicely, when we read for the first time, it's not so easy to understand. And we may think what is going on, what is being mentioned, but slowly, Prabhupada has given a hint here to read Bhagavatam and through Bhagavatam understand Ishopanishad. Or to Bhagavad Gita, try to understand Ishopanishad. So we'll be going to the purpose of Bhagavatam and come back to Upanishads. So this is what I'm speaking about Shruti, Smriti and Nyaya. Here Nyaya is not being mentioned here, only Shruti, Smriti is mentioned. But Nyaya is fixed here in this Purana Bhagavatam, 18 major, 18 minor. It comes under this only. Hope you are able to see this. So I was telling about this. Shruti revealed absolute truth, every word unchanged eternally. Composed by sages, word may change, but the essence remains from age to age. So Shruti consists of Veda, Rig, Yajur, Sama Veda, Athurva Veda. Then these all four Vedas are divided into Samhitas, which are meant for, I had told about Brahmanas for Brahmacharis. No, Samhitas for Brahmacharis, Brahmanas, rituals, the fire Agni, stomach sacrifice, Agni sacrifice for Grahasthas. So mantras, basically, as a Brahmachari, one has to read mantras. One has to reveal, understand the knowledge from the Guru. That is Samhita. Then the rituals are there in Brahmanas, that is meant for Grahasthas. And then there is explanation of the mantras for Aranyakas, who are Vanaprasthas. And then the Upanishad, Jnana Kanda, philosophy of Brahman, that is for Sannyasis, Yatis. So each Veda is joined to 4 parts. So that is what we saw. And we are going to read Ishopanishad, which is a part of Rig Veda, which is a part of Yajur Veda. Yajur Veda has 40 chapters. Yajur Vedas, the last section, has 40 chapters. In that, the 39 chapters speaks about the karma, and the last 40th chapter speaks about the jnana, or the consciousness in in which consciousness one has to renounce, in which consciousness one has to rise from bodily concept of life to spiritual concept of life. Basically, the doership mentality has to be given up. That is what Upanishad starts with. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatam Jagat. Then there is Upavedas like military science, Dhanurveda, Ayurveda. All these things also comes in Shruti that is given by the Lord himself. Then Vedangas, there is Kalpa that is meant for ritual details, Siksha, pronunciation, Vyakarana, grammar. That is grammar. Vyakarana comes along grammar, Pani, and other things. Nirukta, etymology, Chandas, meter, and then 1 minute. PDF. Jyotish, astrology, astronomy, calculation of that. This comes under the Vedangas. These are subset to Vedas and Upavedas. And then in Smriti, there is ritual sutras connected to Kalpa Vedanga, Shrautra sutras, public yajnas, Gra sutras for Grahasthas, home yajnas, Dharma sutras, log books. Arjuna was debating on this Dharma sutras and Artha and Dharma shastras, including Manu Samhita and others. This comes under the Smriti, ritual sutras. And then Tantras, Lord Shiva spoken to Parvati, Tamsik, Rajsik, Satvik. Then there's Pancharatra story, which we tell to different children, children's stories are there. The Pancharatras. That is not Pancharatra is Panchatatriki Vidhi, which speaks about the Vaishnava deity worship. That is not about that Pancharatra. That is not there. This is Pancharatra is Vaishnava Vidhi of deity worship. And then there's Purana, 18 major and 18 minor. 6 for mode of goodness, 6 for mode of passion, 6 for mode of ignorance. Yes. And then there is Itihasas, Puranas, Itihasas, the history of the world. And there are 6 darshanas. Vedanta, Vasudev himself is the head of the department. Mimamsa, Jaimini, Nyaya, Gautama, Vaisheshika, Kannada, Yoga, Patanjali, and Sankhya, Atheistic Kapila, metaphysics. So if you see carefully here, there is something mentioned here. Below all these things, Smriti, there is something called sister written here, if you are able to see the screen. So Vedas, Shruti is like mother, and whatever Shruti speaks, the Smriti reiterates it, and Nyaya substantiates it. So this is the understanding of Shruti, Smriti, and Purana. So 8:33, 3 minutes beyond time, we have concluded the first session. We have laid little foundation. We have completed the introduction. And we will again join on Friday, 6:30 to 8:30. Hare Krishna. I'll not take your time because it's not scheduled class, but Dasraj told, okay, let's do it tomorrow. So Dasraj, you can give a reminder to all devotees on Friday with logged in with video on. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
And if you have any questions, anything you note down, it's already over time. I'll take it on Friday. Okay. Friday we'll begin with invocation. And I have not touched, once we go, what system I'm going to follow is invocation, mantra 1, mantra 2, mantra 3, mantra 4. Some sections of Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan. And wherever needed of Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya also will take fully, but little bit of Vedanta Vesikan, which will help us to understand this Upanishad. And as Prabhupada is telling, the secret to understand Upanishad or Shruti is through Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We are going to go through that approach a lot. So every here and there, every section, you will be finding some of the verses of Bhagavatam coming into Upanishad. So, and we'll take the purpose from that section and come back and connect to the mantra and then understand and go ahead. At least for the first 8 mantras. That is important. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Upasit Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vanchakalpatru Vasya Kripa Sindhu
Jai.